Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is episode 1 of the 365 series, the new series that I'm starting. And today is going to kick off that series where we're going to take one of our very own NUCs and put it in a hive. And then I'm going to post a video every single week updating you on this hive, walking you through it, doing all the stuff with this hive, so that you guys can also follow along with the series if you get a new NUC, a new swarm, a new package or whatever, and you guys can follow along with the series and hopefully get your hive through a complete year with this one. And I'm not guaranteeing we'll get this hive through a complete year, but we're going to follow it and we're going to try really hard to get it through the year. Alrighty, now before we begin, we're going to take the lid off like we just did. We're going to take the inner cover off, and we're going to take out 6 of these frames here, if I can get them out. Now, I'm taking out 6 of these frames here because it will give us a little bit extra space when we're pitting this NUC in, so that we don't have to worry about mashing bees and whatnot. And then what I'm going to do with the final 4 is I'm just going to take 2 of them, put them on one side, 2 of them, put them on the other side, because the whole idea is to put the NUC kind of in the middle and then force the bees to work their way out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give the bees a little bit of smoke. Now this isn't always necessary, but we've had this hive sitting here for a few days and she's been getting used to this area. So we're going to go ahead and give her a little bit of smoke, calm her down. All right, that should do. And now we can just pop the lid here. And the whole idea is to move calmly and smooth. We don't want to go real crazy and get all crazy going in here. We want to kind of do it smooth and gentle as we can. You can pop the lid, give them a little bit of smoke again, just to calm them down a little bit. And we're going to start from the sides, and we're just going to pull out the frames. I really like this tool because it allows me to be able to just pick them right up just like so. And as we're going to look for our queen, obviously. This frame is very heavy with honey, which is very good. That's what you're looking for in a NUC. You want some nice food. And now as we're pitting the frames in here, we don't want to mix the frames up. So we're going to try to put this one here, put number 1 here, and then number 2, and then number 3, and on and on. And the reason why is because bees have it very systematically how they put their stuff. So they put their food on the outside and they put their bees on the inside. And you don't want to be getting it all mixed up, getting the food mixed up with the babies and stuff. So we're going to try to keep it exactly like they have it. This is looking like a great frame, looking more like another food frame. We got some honey, well, not quite honey, it's nectar up here, and we got some pollen down at the bottom. Looking good, looking good. I don't see our queen on this one. I'd expect to see her there because it would look like great laying area. That's all right. Now that's something else. If you can't find your queen, don't worry about it. Look for eggs. Eggs are a lot more of a sure sign than finding the queen is, because it's sometimes difficult to find your queen in the beginning. You haven't been doing it for long, so you might not know what to look for. So instead, look for this right here. You can get this here. If you look in the bottom of these cells, you can see there's a single egg on the bottom of every one of these cells. That's a very good sign that our queen is in here. If there was tons of eggs, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs, that would be a different problem. But this here is very good. You can see there's 1 egg per cell in the bottom of every one of these. So that's exactly what we're looking for. So we can basically guarantee she's in here. I'm going to go ahead and try to find her, but it's not a big deal if we can't find her here. So they do have some queen cups down here. These kind of look like swarm cells, but there's nothing in them. So they might just be messing around a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it though. Make sure that they're not trying to swarm on us here. Looking great though. And as the bees need it, just give them a little bit more smoke if they start getting a little crazy. So again, just looking for, I see lots of eggs and capped brood, looking good. So everything's looking pretty good here. Lots of capped brood, as you can see. Lots. This here is all the capped brood here. And then there's some food in between here, which is kind of a little weird, but that just means they're probably backfilling the brood nest, which means they need more room, which is exactly what we're giving them here. So. Again, just looking, looks great. Nice, lots of capped brood. And this here is a really good frame. You can see there's food, lots of honey along the sides. Then they got some pollen or bee bread. And then in the middle, they got all their babies. Looks like a great frame. Oh, and right there is our queen, actually. So if you look right there, there she is. I'm glad we found her because it is good to see her just to make sure that you're moving her over. You can see the very beautiful queen she is. So that's very good. And now that we have all 5 of our frames in here, the next thing we can do, and this is what I always like to do, is take and just push over this frame, like so, and just push it all the way up against, like so. You're not going to crush them as long as you do it like that, and it's not in the wax that's sticking out very far, which that wax is fine. And then you can slide in your last one here, and that way everything's perfect. So now that this NUC is successfully switched over, we saw everything we needed. We saw that there was lots of food on the outside. We saw that there was brood, and most importantly, we saw our queen. So this hive is looking great. So the last thing we have to do with this NUC now is put a feeder on this hive. So this here is just a hive top feeder, and we will put a gallon or so of sugar syrup in here to keep them fed, and that will help them grow that colony much quicker. Now, what to do with all of these leftover bees in here? So there's, if you come over here and look, you can see there's still lots of bees in this hive. Now we have 2 options. First option we could is knock them all off inside the hive. Now that's what I would recommend if you couldn't find your queen. If you couldn't find your queen, she could have been on this side somewhere around here. And it's best to knock all the bees inside the hive so that you're not going to have to worry about her not being in there. But since we found our queen, instead what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and stick it right here, and the bees will come out and come right back to their home in just a few minutes. Alrighty, and that there's exactly how you install a NUC into a hive. As you can see, it's not super complicated and it's not super difficult to do. It's pretty easy and it's kind of fun. Going through, finding the honey, finding the bees, trying to find your queen. It's actually pretty fun. Before you guys go, if you would, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow a lot. And also, don't forget to tune in next week because we're going to drop the 2nd episode on this beehive. Alrighty, let's begin, and we're going to go ahead and take and put this NUC right into this hive. So let's begin. That was just craziness. I don't think that made a whole lot of sense, but we're going to go with it, okay? Let's do this. All right, bring the thing over.